Hey, what's up, good looking soundbar people? It's CES time and a new year. Gonna branch out and try something new? Thought I would talk about 5 soundbars, not yet released, that have some of that 2021 buzz on them. First up, Samsung's big soundbar CES announcement, the HW Q950A, which is gonna replace Samsung's flagship Q950T released mid-2020. Someone's gonna have to explain to me why they skipped X and Z. Anyway, Samsung seems to be doubling down on the beefy spec strategy as they are shoving a number of enhancements into this model. The hugest BFD is the transition from a 9.1.4 to an 11.1.4 system by adding side-firing speakers to the surrounds. So the bar would stay 7.0.2, but the surrounds as a pair would jump from a 2.0.2 contributor to a 4.0.2. Clearly, this would assist in generating that seamless, all-encompassing sound bubble we all want with our surround and 3D audio. Samsung is also adding Airplay, which is a big one for me as I really think music sounds great on the Q950T. Airplay generally works very well, typically a more stable and higher quality stream than Bluetooth without the distance tether. Alexa will be sticking around on this bar, but hopefully it works better. Alexa, play music on Spotify.
Here's Spotify.
Samsung is going all in on automatic sound calibration, a feature category that I have yet to be really impressed by. I'm talking to all soundbar companies here. Anyway, Samsung is adding Q calibration, which will leverage mics on the TV to adjust sound clarity based on room acoustics. Samsung is also including SpaceFit or Space EQ that would improve the soundbar's bass response with a microphone in the subwoofer. We'll wait to see if these calibration features are legit. Samsung has not unveiled what this system is going to look like. I have no idea if this bar is going to undergo a major style change. It seems possible they might keep some of the design aspects of the Q950T shape to deliver the same number of channels. Though, don't be surprised if the bar looks completely different, maybe to match the style of the newly engineered surround speakers. Who knows? At the very least, I hope they lose the fabric and find a way to move the display to the front so people can see it. Also, for the nerds, I wish Samsung and other soundbar makers would show more information about the type of audio being played. Dolby Digital Plus 5.1, DTS HD Master Audio 7.1. I think enough customers appreciate having access to this information. Why stop at Dolby Atmos and DTS:X? I think we all agree the sub from the Q950T is underwhelming. Fingers crossed, they'll redesign it and find a way to make it at least as good as the JBL Bar 9.1 sub, JBL being a Samsung subsidiary. Punchy and yummy, that JBL sub. Some might be disappointed that they aren't adding a second sub, as 2 subs really do provide more uniform coverage. Subs are more localized than advertised. Why are you going small here, Samsung? Maybe the biggest improvement they can make over last year is support for LPCM. Lack of LPCM support was probably the biggest contributor to my many cutout issues.
That has alive. As soon as you light that fire, you're committed. You can't switch off.
So I'll make sure to keep an eye out for more details on the HW Q950A. The obvious next bar to talk about would be LG's 2021 flagship model, the LG SP11R. Quite honestly, the info I have seen matches the 2020 flagship SN11RG pretty much exactly. It's a 7.1.4 system with Meridian tuning, same wattage, keeps the same wide audio codec support, so that's good, and keeps its wide compatibility with streaming technologies like AirPlay 2, Chromecast, but adds Amazon Alexa support. Myself and a few other blogs rated the sound as underwhelming, in particular dialogue clarity and Atmos performance. LG should focus on those improvements. Otherwise, I did think the SN11RG was a quality system, but it's not looking like the SP11R is going to have much parity with Samsung this year, especially as Samsung brings LPCM support and decides on a front-facing display. The next one, I get the feeling that people have opinions. The Klipsch Cinema 1200, a 1200 watt 5.1.4 channel soundbar system. Expected to launch early March at around $1,500. Though this product's timing seems to be sliding into vaporware land, as I think it was originally aimed for a mid-2020 release. A bit of humility, I actually have not listened to Klipsch's other soundbars. I'm kind of going off the assumption that Klipsch cares a bit more about speaker construction and raw sound fidelity than other non-speaker oriented tech companies. I mean, I really enjoyed their lowest end powered speaker and sub. the R41PM, and the R100SW. My guess is that the sound produced is going to be quite beautiful and regal compared to other soundbar systems that I think are a bit more focused on software and sound processing than speaker materials and raw sound production. Though I'm not necessarily expecting peak 3D sound performance from Klipsch. So here are the features to get excited about. As I mentioned, construction quality, speaker materials, 1200 watts. You'll be able to hear it and it'll look very handsome. It's Atmos compatible. It incorporates Bluetooth, Alexa, Google Assistant, and Airplay 2. So lots of ways to listen to music, which I would think would be of interest if you're buying Klipsch, and support for 8K UHD pass-through with HDCP 2.3 support. Here's where it starts looking rough. You have to wire the surrounds to the sub. It seems that the audio codec support peaks at Dolby Digital Plus, so yes, watered down Atmos, but not your supreme, much better sounding Dolby True HD Atmos. No sign of DTS support of any kind, hanging out with Sonos on this one, and I haven't seen LPCM called out, probably not supported, and as such you can expect issues with your Apple TV and gaming consoles. Not really clear why they're worrying about 8K pass-through when the bar can't handle uncompressed audio. Klipsch isn't really giving you a good audio reason to plug directly into the bar. Very strange priorities there, maybe I'm missing something. eARC is enabled, but without any support for uncompressed audio? Who cares? It's going to be a polarizing bar, but compelling nonetheless. If it sounds like I think it will. I'll keep an eye on it. Next we go smaller, the JBL Bar 5.0 Multibeam. An all-in-one soundbar, $400, and will be available in the spring. I want to talk about this bar for those of you that are looking for the best, cheap, let's say less than $400, no hassle TV sound enhancer. Quite honestly, the speaker looks like a 3.0.2 system with two grills on the top, the left and right, but CNET says there are no upward firing speakers, so I guess it's really a 5.0 speaker. Maybe wide channels are in a hybrid position with a slight angle up, maybe explaining the grills on top, gonna have to wait to find out. Though this bar is not given a .1 dedicated bass channel, it uses an onboard subwoofer with 4 passive radiators for deep and punchy bass, so says JBL. This bar utilizes proprietary beamforming technology, Multibeam, to bounce sound off walls and simulate Atmos height effects. This is probably not the bar you get for peak Atmos, but perhaps a nice enhancement to an inexpensive all-in-one soundbar. On top of this, you get decent connectivity with Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, Chromecast, and Bluetooth. It's really easy to get music on this. It'll be a nifty little music box. Further, it's compatible with Amazon's multi-room music protocol that will allow you to group this bar with other Echo devices. So you're getting better than average multi-room support, if you're in the Echo ecosystem. Going off JBL Bar 5.1 specs, I would expect just ARC and one HDMI pass-through, as well as an optical, USB, and Ethernet port. B&H is claiming this bar has eARC on their pre-order page. That spec was not advertised on the official press release. Just want to make sure you're sufficiently confused. It's maybe worth noting that the JBL Bar 5.1 Surround, a similar bar with a dedicated sub, is right now also $400. If you are really interested in bass, go with the JBL Bar 5.1. If you want the other stuff I discussed, simulated Atmos, Amazon multi-room music, go with the Multibeam. Okay, back to LG and staying small. The super compact 320 watt LG Eclair QP5, a 3.1.2 soundbar system, expected late June 2021. The Eclair's draw is its tiny footprint, being less than a foot wide, with its cute and elegant rounded design, accompanied by a nearly equally cute sub. But at the same time keeping up with the big kids with upward firing speakers and compatibility with Atmos and DTS:X. The first ultra compact soundbar to pull off supporting both formats. Have to go back and re-record what I originally prattled on about, as the Eclair was just posted on LG's website, while putting this video together. The Eclair darn near packs as many features as the SN11RG. You get an eARC connection along with pass-through, both supporting HDMI 2.1. Other connections include optical and USB. And you know how I mentioned Atmos and DTS:X support? You also get the rest of it, all the Dolbys, all the DTSs, and LPCM. It falls a little short of its much bigger brother by not supporting Wi-Fi, so that means no Wi-Fi streaming, voice assistance, or app support, just a remote. So along with the 2 upward firing speakers, you get a dedicated center, left, and right channel. The left and right channels are reportedly angled at 45 degrees to increase the width of the soundstage. Though, don't buy this for the wide soundstage, maybe. The companion sub can supposedly pack a punch for its size, with bi-directional drivers. The Eclair looks elegant. It's not a stereotypical bachelor pad speaker. It's a stark design departure from their flagship, We'll have to sit on a big question mark when it comes to sound. Could this be the mid-range soundbar kit for you? Maybe a kitchen, office, bedroom? I'm curious. Anyway, hope this little experiment brought some value to your day. Maybe do something like this to support this video or channel if you made it this far. If you're new here, I mostly do reviews on the latest soundbars, so come back for those. Gonna wrap this up, catch you on the next one.